Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and this video. So today we are going to talk about a new topic, that is traders and rulers. So traders and rulers, there were many of the traders, means apart from Britishers, there were many other traders from other countries and which came to India and started trading, and some actually like Britishers ruled over India or some parts of India. So, in the late of 18th century AD, the political condition of India was highly unstable. Aurangzeb was the last powerful ruler, Mughal ruler. His death in AD 1707 marked the beginning of the War of Succession for the throne of Delhi. The Mughal court was divided into the Turani and Irani, Afghani, Hindustani groups that were constantly fighting with each other, and to just against each other, one another, they were just fighting for the succession of the throne. They were divided into four, like these kind of groups, and they were just like fighting against each other to just get up the throne of the Delhi. So within this 50 years of Aurangzeb's death, 9 Mughal emperors followed one another in quick successions. There were many of the quick successions, means like not for over periods of years, but over periods of days and months or weeks. There were successions over 50 years that continued. So what next happened? Taking advantage of this weak center, the Mughal governors of Oudh, Bengal and Deccan freed themselves from the control of the central government. By this advantage that the rulers are fighting from each other, the rulers are just for the succession of the throne, some part of the India got freed themselves. Because they were controlled by the Mughal, they freed themselves and they just became a little bit of their independence. The next thing what happened is, they attracted by the Indians' enormous wealth and political instability, the Persian ruler Nadir Shah invaded India in 1739. He indulged in a loot of large-scale massacre of people. He followed by Ahmad Shah Abdali, who invaded India independently. As a result of India's financial and military strength suffered enormously. This paved the way of the other foreign nation to invade and just invade and dominate India. Continuously disintegration and disruption, chaos, disabilities and many things happened in India, and that gave a tremendous backup to the generated undying spirit of the adventure among the people of the Western Europe. Continuously traders turned into rulers. So there were many people who came to India just to become a trade, but as per there was a lot of political instability. Before many years, like some years, India was very wealthy country, and that's why traders came here to become go for trading. But after these all inventions from Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali, this all became they become a very big loot from India, and that's how India started to lose its wealth. And then when these all happened, when the internal instability happened in India, the traders who came outside from the India, they started to rule over people. Instead, the traders turned into rulers. The first thing who came to India is the Portuguese in India. India has a commercial relationship with the countries of the West since ancient times. So a commercial relation between the Western countries, India always had it. So what happened? From the ancient times, India's had it. So Mughal emperors had failed to guard the seas coast due to the lack of strong navy. Thus, the India coast became the easy destination for European power who fought for the control of Indian trade and rich natural resources. So India was one of the most rich in resources even. So what happened? As per Aurangzeb was the last great Mughals. After that, there was a succession for thrones. Weak rulers were there, so they did not guard up the seas, the area, the water area, they didn't have a good navy, and that's the reason why the European and other country people came off, and they found that loophole very easy to capture India's trade, or we can say the national natural resources and wealth. So what happened is Europeans fought for the power control of Indian trade. The geographical discoveries of last quarter of 15th century AD also opened the prospect for the new and profitable markets. As per there were many of the geographical discoveries in 15th century AD. So everyone we want this, and there was a profitable things profitable in the market even. So they just wanted these things. Vasco da Gama, which was in AD 1469 to 1524, Portuguese navigator, found out a new sea route to India. He reached the port of Calcutta on 20 May 1818 sailors on board. He received a warm welcome from Hindu king Zamorin. The Portuguese succeeded establishing a trading center in Cochin, Goa, Daman and Diu. Did you know that in AD 1492, the Spanish navigator Christopher Columbus sent a new discovery to India? Soon, he discovered a new world, various Caribbean islands. He made 3 further voyages between AD 1493 and AD 1504. They were in AD 1498, he discovered a South American's mainland. Columbus Day is a legal holiday commemorating the discovery of the new world of Columbus in AD 1492. It discovered by the most states in the second Monday of October. So next who came to India and I'm going to talk about them are the Dutch in India. They attracted the spice of the market of the Southeast Asia. Dutch undertook several voyages to this region. The Dutch East India Company was formed in AD 1602. There were important factories were located in the Masulipatam, Pulkit, Surat, Karkali and Patna, Balesar, Cochin and many more places. They exported cotton clothes, raw silk, muslins, opium, indigo from India. The trading centers were called factories because the officials of the companies working there were called factors. So the official persons who work in that company, that they called as factor, that were the factories of the word came from that factors. The Dutch succeeded in establishing their monopoly in the spice of the trade throughout the 17th century AD. Establishing the trade link between India and the island of the Far East, they further established their control over the trade of pepper and spice in the island of Sumatra, Java and Molucca. While the Dutch were expanding their trade in the India and in the island of Far East, they were opposed by the Dutch government. This behavior of the government led to the decline of the Dutch company. The next company or the next who came to India are the British in India. On 31st of December 1600, Queen Elizabeth I granted a royal charter to English East India Company, giving a sole right to trade with the East. A royal charter clearly meant that no other trading group in England could now complete the East India Company. The company now had the right to undertake voyages to new and unknown markets from where it could buy goods at the cheap price and sell them back to Europe at high prices. The Sumatra, Java and Molucca, they took the earliest of the voyages in these places. In AD 1608, it made the first attempt to establish factories in India. In AD 1613, the Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a farman permitting the English to establish a factory permanently at Surat. Thus, the first factory of the East India Company was established at Surat. Simultaneously, the other similar factories were established at Madras, now it's Chennai, Bombay, which is now it's Mumbai, and Calcutta or Kolkata. So Buxar. Now let's talk about a little bit of Buxar. So Buxar is a small fortified town of Bengal. It is located on the bank of Ganges River, about 130 km west to Patna. Presently, Buxar is in the Bihar, bordering eastern of the Uttar Pradesh. So why I talked about Buxar is because following we are reading of these traders and rulers, Buxar is going to come in a way. Now let's come to a type of fact. So in AD 1599, an English association was formed to the trade with the East under the auspices of a group of merchants called as Merchant Adventurers. After British India, let's talk about the French in India. So the French East India Company des Indes, like you can just pronounce it as you can, as you wish. So was formed in AD 1664. It was formed to compete with the English and Dutch East India Companies. It was controlled by French government. State control of the company was quite harmful for its progress. Further, factories were established at Puducherry, Mahi, and many more places. The company also got control over the island of Mauritius and Reunion in the Indian Ocean, establishing the Portuguese and the Dutch, the British and the French factories in India resulted a fierce competition, the rivalries amongst them. But there are many companies involved in these marketing jobs in India, though they are from other countries and trading in India, they got rivalries against them among themselves, and they started to just have they started to have a kind of a cold war to prevent each other from profitable trade. They tried themselves to be more grateful than other and earning more, getting more profit than others, so that they can prevent from losses and they can prevent from getting them more profit than them. So getting others more profit than them. So that's what they had a competition about, and then they raised their arms against and the local rulers if they opposed the establishment of their factories. Thus the political trade became irreversible. So this was the video about the traders and rulers, and we will meet in the next video with another topic. Thanks for watching.